intro. It's intro time. Shush. Everyone shut up. What's going on, main characters? It's your boy Talks Too Much with Third Party Studios. Welcome back to the channel, and I'm joined by my co-host, the Cody.
What's up?
Dude, it has been a minute since we've been back, so I appreciate if you guys are hanging out with us in the stream. Appreciate you guys coming back and hanging out with us. I apologize for the hiatus. A lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, people getting sick, people having a new puppy, people living life, but we've been really excited to get back to the channel. We have a lot to get into today. Part of what I think has really held me up from really wanting to like turn the stream back on is a lot of the news with like Charlie and stuff. I didn't want to talk about it. Like, I didn't want to bring it up on the channel. I didn't want to like have it be front and center. It's
impossible to ignore, but also it really has been just like sickness after sickness. Cause like Labor Day,
yeah,
you went out, you got sick.
Yep.
That was 2 weeks. And then right after that, I had the flu. And then right after that, I got the fucking
allergies
and a head cold. And it was just, there was no
pulling it off.
Unless you wanted to listen to sick people.
Dude,
talk into a mic.
In fairness, we do listen to sick people. In fairness, we do listen to sick people on TV all the time.
Yeah. And in the middle of that, there was, a tragedy.
Yeah. And
so that was another thing.
Well,
it's been a fucking month.
Well, and I didn't like the easy thing to do is to put pictures of Charlie in the thumbnail and into the title and stuff. And I just felt it felt so gross. Even like the stories we kind of like have to cover just because they're what's relevant. I don't feel good covering them.
It's not chill. Yeah, but like story wise, everything that's happened in the entertainment world in the past month has revolved around
this whole topic. Yeah, these stories, exactly. There's no way to avoid it, and we do want to come back. We've been away long enough. We wanted to get back into something resembling a rotation of regular content. But I think I want to start by talking about just something a little bit lighter, like some of the movies that have come out or some of the news that's movies. So I'm winning the bet with the Batman story.
Yeah. I'm happy to lose that bet.
You're going to lose that bet hard.
Fine. I'll lose $100. I don't care.
I tell you what, I'll take that money and I'll just order some like ridiculously nice food through DoorDash so that it arrives not good. Like the best, like if you're going to get fancy food, if you're going to spend...
Well, no, you're a picky person.
Well, if you're going to spend your buddy's money, I mean, you spend it on nice food, but you do it in the worst way.
You're just going to get Red Lobster delivered.
Ugh, no thank you.
It's just a bunch of snow crab legs, but then you have nothing to crack it with.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's actually huge. That's a good point. If you don't have if you don't have crackers in your house... if you don't have crackers in your house...
Well, before we get to Batman...
Yeah.
What have you, nerd-wise, been up to for the past month hiatus?
Oh my god, I start?
Yeah.
It never starts with me.
I'm switching it.
All right. So, I've been really... So, even before we took the hiatus, I've been really into Warhammer 40k. And...
Getting straight.
Yeah, and the faction I chose...
Okay, side note. These guys basically turn I'm going to say even though it's not mine. My living room into a 40k
dungeon
war zone.
Yeah, it's a battlefield of 40k.
Like once a week. Where it's like, all right, we got to move the couch. Everything's got to go away.
Clear the room.
We're bringing sawhorses and this fucking table.
Yeah, we're bringing in the table. Well, I mean, okay, so if you understand our plays, we got the studio set up down here where the only practical table that would be good for it is being used for the studio. And so I have to set up something, but the actual dining table isn't big enough for the table. So we have to get a giant piece of plywood.
Never thought about that. This is a good table for like 40k.
This is a perfect table for 40k. D&D, it was
built for D&D.
It was built for D&D, but then everyone had lives and got busy. And like, I love D&D, by the way. Okay, I love D&D. I really want to get back into it. I really want to start playing
Shocker.
again.
Talks is a nerd.
What? No, I'm not a nerd. I'm a dork.
Gay.
Gay dork. Gay dork. No,
I'm gonna wrap your tidy whities around your face.
What the fuck? I don't wear tidy whities, liar.
I don't even know if that's still a thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it is either. Warhammer 40k though. So We got the table set up. We got everything. Yes, I've been full committed to playing Warhammer. We've been playing about once a week on these some bigger games, but we've been trying to do like a 3-player like game where it's a free for all. And my faction is a very high skill faction, and I'm not high skilled.
Obviously.
So I am doing horrible, and I just rage at my fucking army. I hate my army so much. Once I eventually get better, I'm sure I'll find something to some redeemable thing about it. But everyone's like, they move so freaking fast. I was like, all their buffs to speed are conditional, hyper conditional. No one at home is following what I'm saying.
There's like, okay. Quick question. So like, you know how dexterity in RPGs and whatnot?
Yeah.
Tabletop, video game, whatever. That increases your action speed.
Yes.
Or increases how many times or how fast you get to go when it comes to turn-based.
Mm-hmm.
Does that apply to 40K?
No, not really.
It's like how fast they are is like they get more.
No, not necessarily. So there are some abilities in the game that are timeline based, such as like the game runs in 5 rounds. A typical 2,000 point game you would run for 5 rounds. So what I've noticed with the Tau, which is one of the factions I'm looking at seriously playing, is they have a faction bonus that actually activates in the late game. So rounds 4 and 5, you get this bonus that kicks in if you met certain conditions, or you could pick a different bonus, which is rounds 1, 2, and 3. You get a bonus that fizzles out. So you get a really hard start, but you lose it to finish at the game, or you could finish strong if you met certain conditions in the game, depending on which ability. Things like that. None of which I would say are identical or similar to my game in the context of like you get more or you speed up.
Right.
So I'm not familiar with any ability like that in Warhammer. Now, so just for context for the people following along, I play the Harlequins, which are an Eldari faction. If you're new to Warhammer 40K, that's the Space Elves. So that's the faction I played. They're a high skill faction. They are winning some tournaments, but for some reason I am just absolute dog shit with this faction. I can't play it to save my life. I have lost all but one singular game, which I'll tell a little bit of a brief story because again, I don't have any visuals for this and I don't want to pull things up in real time to demonstrate it. But
you're passionate, man.
There's a model called a Wraith Knight. It's a pretty large model, and it's worth a lot of points in the game. It's about and on its own, it's about 1/6 of what your army size is. This one model takes up about 1/6 of the points you can use to build up your army. So it's very valuable. Well, my buddy, in first round, before I even get a turn, because he starts off, he fires everything he has at this thing and knocks it down before I even get a turn. So he kills 1/6 of my army in one model with half of his shots, and then still goes on to do like tra-la-la-la-la, has a normal turn with the rest of his fucking models. And I'm just like, fuck it. So I drop every one of my reinforcements right behind his back line, and I just attack him with everything I've got. I'm not going for points. I'm not going for anything. It's just kill all of his models, full send, no holes barred, don't take cover, shoot and keep shooting, and then jump in and start stabbing the heck out of his stuff. That's all I was doing with my guys.
Let your emotions control the war.
Well, I am very chaotic. That's why
That's what you get for plopping that down. It's like you just laid your dick on the table and you're like, all right, we're gonna chop that off.
Well, it's in the opposite.
Next.
It was in the opposite corner of his guys. He just has a couple of weapons that have, I think it was 72-inch range. So I mean, a couple of his models could hit, and they rolled ridiculously.
72-inch.
Yeah, it was huge.
No one can take that.
No one could take it. But it went down immediately. So that was the only game I ironically ended up winning. Was the one where I full sent his force. And then ultimately ended up convincing him to like dedicate the last of his manpower into hurting the other guy. So I don't know how I sold that, but it worked out, I guess, in my favor that time. So out of like 12 games in total, I've won a single one, and it was that one. And I hated that game. I didn't even have fun. I was mad the whole time, had no fun. I hated how my dice were rolling. I hated how my faction was playing. I hated how I was playing. I just won because his biggest model was still left on the board, and it ended up doing 45 points of damage to the third player's boss. on it. Like, he just committed everything he had left into the third player, and basically he was the kingmaker in that situation. He could have picked who lost, and I just got the coin flip. I don't know why he gave it to me. I basically ruined his game for him.
Maybe you're a sore loser and he didn't want to deal with it.
I tell you what, yes, both things are probably true. I'm not actually that much of a sore loser.
I don't want to hear Tox yell about this.
I'm not normally that much of a sore loser. I hate an unfair game. I hate an unfair game more than anything. I was like, I would play...
But isn't it your fault that would be unfair?
Well, I picked a faction that I was actually thought looked really cool. I really liked the lore. There was a lot about them that was very appealing. And the playstyle just makes absolutely no sense to me. All of their abilities have like hyperly restrictive conditions.
I get that when you're playing like video games or whatever, and there are certain builds that would be quote unquote the meta. And it's like, I don't want to play that way. I want to play the way that I want to play. And it's just not conducive into the game environment that the developers have created. Even though you're allowed to do it, it's just you're going to be a lot weaker.
Mm-hmm. There's two other... And as I'm going through my abilities, so the last time we played, I said I'm done with this army. I'm not going to play it again. If I have to skip weeks while I buy and get new models and build up new stuff, so be it. Or if I have to borrow something to play, so be it. I won't play this faction again until I figure out what happened.
You don't like Space Elves?
Well, I hate this faction specifically because my buddy has an ability in Warhammer 40 where he's like, I re-roll ones and I add a 1 to my wound rolls, and I'm just like,
always modifiers.
Yeah, well, that's one ability from one of his like grunt units or whatever.
I can roll a crit 1 and still recover from it.
Well, here's an example of what pisses me off. I'm like, oh yeah, my army is made up of these elite infantry who are really high damage dealing, and they have that same ability. But it only applies to melee combat. I can't actually shoot. Oh, also, all of my guns have a 12-inch range, so I can't even hit anything that isn't within a foot. And my guys, if they even get close to if they get within, I think it's like 8 inches, your models can use flamethrowers and just melt all of my shit. So I just can't even get close.
As like outside of the spectrum, I think D&D is a way more accessible than Warhammer is.
Oh, it's not even close.
Because you're only playing one character. You only have to know the one character's...
Yeah. Well, and you are part of telling...
know you.
Well, and you're a part of telling the story, too. And you get to build something you actually love and have fun with and create the thing. So, like, if I could make the Harlequins something I actually would enjoy... I would give them a lot of like vanishing abilities and stuff like that, abilities to like leave or move in different ways or escape. But, you know, a part of the issue is how we play, where you're supposed to have cover and you're supposed to have terrain that allows you to like duck into buildings or out of line of sight. We really don't. And so my Harlequins are almost always out in the open because we just don't have there's just a practical problem we're dealing with terrain. Thank you. But the practical problem with terrain. So I don't have that benefit. I was playing against factions that my buddy was running that are like very much tanks. And if all of your stuff only has 12-inch range and you don't actually have the capacity to do enough damage to a tank, you're not taking it out. So a lot of limitations there.
I mean, for our foreign listeners, 12 inches is like, I don't know, 36 meters.
What? 12 inches is 36 meters?
Hey, we deal in freedom units. We don't know metric
That's
system.
like so many feet.
I mean,
that's so many feet.
36 inches is like 12 kilometers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the metric system. Thank you so much.
We don't know how to equate that.
I don't even know how the foot, like the imperial system came out either. But to answer your question about what I've been up to this week, I've been there's a game mode in Warhammer 40K called Crusade.
Yeah.
Where basically it's more of a narrative story where you build a smaller force and you bring it into these pre-assigned missions, and you play them out as battles against your buddy who's doing his own crusade. And then winning and losing and achieving certain victory points or achieving certain like small submissions gives you points you can build up and boost your army, give your army XP. You name all of your units, you name your army, and you basically attempt to achieve certain side quest missions while playing out this main mission. And that's how you play out a crusade. So all of us have picked small, like a new army, and we're building up really small forces. So I chose the Tau, and I've been trying to acquire enough models that I even Tau are ridiculously cheap models. I have a bunch of these things called crisis suits.
Maybe because no one wants to play them.
No, I mean, my understanding is that Tau are not super complicated, but they're actually reasonably in the middle tier. So, I mean, they're not very weak or very difficult to use, is my understanding of them. That's kind of... I wanted just a shooty faction. It was them or the Astra Militarum. It was one of those two. But I chose
You want to be a basic bitch.
I wanted to stop losing. Or at least I wanted to be able to explain why... I wanted to at least understand why I lose. Because that's one thing I have a very difficult time with, right?
Losses just sneak up on you.
Well, I can't explain them, right? Like my models are very expensive, like not monetarily, but points wise. All of my models take up a ridiculously large